Hello and welcome everybody to another edition of the Fantasy Results Show. I'm your host, JBlaze39, brought to you by DailyDraftAnalysis.com. Again, that's DailyDraftAnalysis.com. It's your one-stop shop for all your NFL needs. We got rankings, we have projections, injury reports, weather, up-to-date information, everything you need, all rolled into one. Now this week, we are in week 12, and I'm going to do things a little different because there's different, got a couple different slates this week. Normally I don't really do work, focus on the Thursday games. But for this week, being there's 3 games on Thanksgiving Day, and it's got its own slate, I figure we need to break it down and see where we're going to attack on this. Now, being it's going to be a 3-game slate, it seems kind of, it's going to take a little different kind of lineup construction. There's some good options out here. Now the 3 games we have on Thursday is going to be Minnesota Vikings going to Detroit, and then we got the LA Chargers going to Dallas, face the Cowboys, and then the Sunday night game or the Thursday night game will be the Giants against the Washington Redskins. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be running 2 podcasts this week. So this will be the first one that's going to break down just the Thanksgiving Day slate. So I'll be back, for the second edition to focus on the Sunday games, Monday games. So just to give you a little heads up of what we're planning on doing this week. So anyway, let's get started with this. We now doing this lineup construction I'm talking about. There's going to be a lot of chalk, and we don't have to be afraid of using some chalk this week, or for this slate. The difference is finding 1 or 2 guys to separate yourself. And just take a flyer on someone. Some of these games, weird things happen. And it's a prime. These are all 3 of these are primetime games. They're all on national TV. Everybody's watching. Teams get up for that. Certain players get up for that. So, what we do is, to start with, we look at Vegas and see what they're thinking here. Now, it's the first game, Minnesota against Detroit. It's in Detroit, like traditionally. It's an earlier start. It's 11:30 a.m. start. Now Vegas has this as the Vikings favored by 3. It started off as a pick'em. 3-point change. That I don't know. I mean, okay. My my theory on this, see, if Minnesota wins this game, they have they have a lot riding on this game. If they win this game, they're pretty much locked the division up. But so Detroit's kind of fighting for their playoff lives, really, because if they can't keep pace with Minnesota and for the division, their NFC record against common opponents is not going to be looking too good for them as of now. Not saying they can't do it, but they're going to need to get at least probably 11 wins to make the playoffs for Detroit is. So, but anyway, how are we going to attack this? Okay, so the Vikings defense demonstrated that they're a top flight defense, and they shut down the number one passing or offense in the league last week with facing the Rams. That was a good test for them. So when it comes to defenses, the Vikings don't get a lot of turnovers. So I'm a little hesitant to go with this because it feels like a trap because Stafford can put up some stats. So it's going to be chalky. The Vikings defense are going to be expensive and they're going to be chalky. So where a person could separate themselves is to take a different defense. Now you got 6 to choose from. In the Washington game, Washington's favored by 7. And they're at home. I like that. But then again, plus they're facing the Giants. So maybe Washington's going to be the chalkiest. That for I guarantee if the people that are playing these big tournaments on these type of slates, they're just gonna blindly take they want exposure to the late night hammer. Well, how are they gonna do that? Well, odds are they're gonna be just picking the defense because that's all they got left. Taking a flyer. Where is we could attack this different. I like a couple things. Adam Thielen is the most consistent as far as targets receiver in the league right now. Problem is he's going to be covered by Darius Slay, most likely. I still like Thielen. I think Thielen can beat him. But just know that that Darius Slay's defense is legit. So what you could do is if you're gonna stack, and I'm not opposed to stacking this game. Maybe a Case Keenum. And let's see here, and a Kyle Rudolph. And maybe a Jarius Wright. Could get into have a big play. Also, Latavius Murray has kind of come on here. He could be somebody to look at. Now for cash, go Minnesota defense and Latavius Murray. So to go with that. Next, it's here on Detroit's side. Well, as I should say, to me, this game feels like a coming out party of sorts for Stephon Diggs. Everybody kind of knows who he is, I guess, already, but it's a big stage. So, if you're going to make multiple lineups, it wouldn't hurt to take a flyer on someone like Daquan Treadwell. If you do, pair him up with Keenum. And it could be could really separate yourself that way. He may only get 1 or 2 catches, but they might be good, deep ones. So on Detroit's side, I got 2 plays. Golden Tate and Theo Riddick. Because they're probably going to be playing from behind. So, that's all I got for this. I don't see. I see this game as a 25-16, 25-20 type of game. To race to 20 is what I'm getting at. The last, 3 years, 3 meetings, there's been pretty low scoring. So we'll see. Now, next game. LA Chargers, that still sounds weird. San Diego Chargers to me. Going into Dallas. Now, the point totals went up on this one to 48. It was 47. It's not a huge deal, but it's something to consider. But the money, the spread has come down. It's actually started off as -3.5. Now it's -1. It sounds like the Cowboys are getting Tyrod Smith back on the offensive line. I hope everybody, welcomes him back, open arms there, because it was ugly when he wasn't in there. Now, Rod Smith is the guy to watch out for here. You could do a little ping pong action with Rod Smith and Melvin Gordon. And if you really want to take a chance, you could do that Aaron Eckler, the backup for Gordon. Because if this game gets out of hand, Eckler could come into play. So, if Tyrone Smith, plays, that boosts up, the Cowboys' offense quite a bit. I don't like any receivers for the Cowboys. They're going to be matched up with one of the artists, or one of the people here at what's it saying? It's here. I got lost my train of thought there. The Chargers got a really good pass defense, and but that point total is pretty high. It's the highest one on the slate. There's going to be a lot of people on this game. And it could be true. I think it's going to play to the under. I think both running backs are going to be going crazy with opportunities. So, and touches. So, Rod Smith, I guess you could go, Dak Prescott. I don't, maybe because for him scrambling, that could be in play. But if I'm gonna roll Dak, I'm rolling him out naked. Or with Rod Smith, because then you get a piece of each touchdown. So, it's Keenan Allen's somebody to look at. Everybody's gonna be flocking to him. Benjamin, could be a sneaky play. Philip Rivers in tournaments would be ideal here. Cowboys will be without Sean Lee again. And, it's, Jason Witten could be in play. I just that point total just confuses me. I think it's going to play to the under. It seems too high. So Hunter Henry maybe. Cowboys give up, a lot of touchdowns to opposing tight end. So, let's move on to the next game. The final game of the slate. The Giants going up against Washington. Now, there's some interesting things happen here. The game started off at a 41.5 point total, where Washington was favored by 9. Now, since then, the line is the total has went to 45. That's a huge jump. But the money line and on the spread has come down to -7. There's some smart money coming in on Washington or on the Giants somehow. Now, these two teams, of course, they know each other very well. Usually it's a race to 20, at least lately. I like Cousins a lot. If you really want to get creative on this, you could do a stack of the Giants, or of Eli Manning, Evan Ingram, and Darkwa. And then bring it back with Jamison Crowder and is Byron Marshall. He could be a sneaky under the radar guy. He's the guy filling in for Chris Thompson when he went out. He could get some opportunity. And DFS, that's all you want is an opportunity. So, the other game, other idea here is take Cousins and P. Ryan and Crowder or Doxson. Maybe even Ryan Grant. But there's this other receiver that could be really sneaky, and that is, Vernon Davis. Good old Vernon. He comes in and does a good job when needed, and they could need it this week. So, that's all I got for this week as far as the first part of this slate. Now, I would play carefully on the Thanksgiving slate because a lot of it feels like a trap. I would focus more on cash with this. And then, if you're going to build a GPP tournament team on here for this slate, the Thanksgiving slate, is get creative. Do a full-on stack, and just hope it pans out for the shootout. It could happen. The idea is to pick the game. Well, Vegas is telling us it's going to be the Chargers and Dallas. The beauty of this is take put an entrant into 3 different entrants if you can. Do one. Put this in the $3 big GPP just to cover yourself. Take one game, stack it up, and then take it a piece from one of the other 2 games, probably the late game. And then just go down the line. Next game, just, load up on that one, and then find your pieces around it. Third lineup, do the same thing. Just load up on it. See how creative you can get, because that's what it's going to take to win this GPP. Because everybody's going to have the same guys. The ownership is going to be through the roof. So, just that's what's been winning these big tournaments. So, I mean, go crazy with it, get creative. But that's what I recommend this week. So, yeah, I mean, I'll be back for later, either tonight or I'm recording this on Tuesday night. I'll either be back in a few minutes to do the Sunday slate, or I'll do it on Friday like I normally do, with the regular podcast. So here's a quick note, little pod to get you going for the Thanksgiving. And I hope you guys have a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for listening. And again, check out my site, datadraftanalysis.com. It gives all kinds of updated rankings there, and injury report news, and up-to-date weather reports. So, just, all you need there. So, just give it a shot. And, all right, let's go make some money. Thanks, guys.